to the individual.
Rhyming. Alright people, what's up? I kind of apologize because all these videos, they're not showing Japan, they're more talking about Japan. But I got a Japanese shirt on. You see? Anyway, now, and this is just not like this week's video. This is like for the 6 years I've been making videos, you know, same kind of thing. You know, people giving their opinions and blah, 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 blah. Now, what I'm interested in is why. You know, why? Why?
Why?
Why? Why? Naze? Nande? And I pose questions to the people who are watching. Why do you think? And then you give your answers. Or you might give your own personal stories. And, you know, and that's fine, but it doesn't answer my question. Why? Now, you can, if we go back in time, like many centuries ago, the caveman, they didn't have YouTube, they had U-Rock. They were sitting around in a big cave, and one caveman said, "Ugh." And the other caveman said, "Ugh." And then he's, "Ugh." And he's, "Ugh." It's not funny. It's a big serious here.
Okay.
So the caveman.
More serious. Okay.
So then the caveman, he said.
You're serious, what?
Okay, so the cavemen, they're talking about something. Maybe big dinosaur. He said, "Dinosaur, come eat me. Eat me bad." Mm. And the guy said, "I don't believe that. Ain't no dinosaur gonna come and eat you." And he said, "Yeah, they do." And they're going back and forth. And eventually the guy goes out into the wilderness to go do his whatever. And then the dinosaur comes out and he escapes with his life. And he comes back and he's like, "Oh, dinosaur eat to me." Woo. You know, and he's like, "Told you so." And then they have a bond. Well, hopefully they have a bond. I don't know. And then they draw that shit up on the wall. Draw a big picture. Dinosaur, and the guy's all like, kind of, and there you go. The birth of observation, I guess, you know. Now, fast forward to now, we got YouTube and Twitter, and these things are, information travels so fast, you know, and people could just say whatever they want, and it's fact, or it's cemented in some kind of medium, you know. A lot on the internet, things will always be there, man. If someone took a picture of you running around with your butt hanging out, and that shit went viral, it's going to be very difficult for you to like delete it. It's always going to be there, you know. All right, so where am I going with this? Are you familiar with anthropology? That's the study of humans. And I'm just using Wikipedia here, but real quickly. Anthropology, the academic study of humanity. It has its origins in humanities, the natural sciences, the social science. Blah 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 blah. It's a study of Homo sapiens, evolution, organizations, of human social and cultural relations, human physical traits, how humans behave, the variations among different groups of humans, and so on, you know, and so on. It's a very big field, very huge field. People go to school for this, people debate this, people write stories, and I don't need any sound effects. Alright, so people do this. Now, granted, I know this is YouTube. I know you're not coming to my channel per se to like learn something. Nor am I like authorized to teach anything. You know, I'm not, you know, this is just whatever. But this conversation we're having, it's people giving their opinions with no basis. It's like it's like looking for the Loch Ness monster, the abominable snowman, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy. At one point people did believe it. Usually they're young kids, but they believe these things. The existence of aliens, and so on. People search for these things. So I find it interesting that here we're having a conversation. We're talking. And people have their opinions based on their opinions. I'm not really interested in the opinion side. I want to find the source, the fact, the truth, the information where we can move on to something else. But we're stuck in a loop. This cycle. Now, back to anthropology, one person might say, hey, this group of people or this something is something, and then they got to get a peer review. They got to find the data to prove their assumption. They have to prove it. Otherwise, people are just going to be like, well, whatever. And then other people could come over and review what they just said and But on YouTube, where's the peer review? It's one person saying this and the other person saying that's not true, and it just goes back and forth. I wanna break that cycle. I wanna study it. And that was what the other video was about. And people were like, I don't know what you're trying to say. Well, here's what I'm saying. Let's study it. Let's understand what is. Now, if you're thinking about it, you're like, that's a pretty daunting task. And you're right, it is. I can't do it alone. I could try and I'll do what I can do, but I can't do it alone. I really do need people to it needs to be a group thing. And, it would work. It would work if it's like people all getting together and, and we could share our information. But if we can't do that, then maybe that's what people want. As long as people don't know the exact answer, we could always be ambiguous, and then we could always have something to argue about. But once we find the answer, could you imagine? Could you imagine? One day somebody looks up in the sky and they see birds flying in a V formation. Phew, 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 phew. And then the guy's like, I wonder why they're in a V formation. And the guy's like, well, it's because V stands for vendetta, and the birds have a vendetta, so they're leaving. No, that's not it. It's not a V. It's a mountain. Birds like mountains, so they're making a backwards mountain so people can see. No. And they can go on and on and on because, the birds are flying this way and then they go out of sight. But one day a scientist followed those birds, or they tracked them. They figured out a way to do it. One guy's like, I'll just follow them, but he couldn't follow them so far because the ocean came. Then technology advanced, so they were able to track these birds, and they go from here to here, and it became a predictable pattern, and they're able to understand nature. If this was YouTube, they'd be like, nope, I don't know where the birds went, but I heard this. Nope, and they go back and forth talking about birds. Now, where the birds go or where the birds don't go, it's not so important. No one's going to die about this. But the answer is really not so hard to find if you set something up, such as A, track them with trackers, B, get a little plane and follow them, C, have lots of people around the world looking up till their neck gets hurt, and then get on their cell phone saying, the birds are here, taking pictures. It's just not funny. This is serious. This is serious. So, that's like something like that, And, I'm living in Japan, and there's a lot of ambiguity about things. And I would love to clarify it. Because, you know, for 6 years I've been making videos just kind of like, you know, this is my story, this is what I'm doing. But, you know, I'm biased. I don't know everything, nor do I see the full picture, you know. If I was able to find the truth, if I was able to decode the DNA of living in Japan, that would help the people who are coming over. That's something I want to do, you know? I want to climb Mount Everest. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to climb Mount Everest. I want to climb Mount Fuji so I can, like, show you the sunrise or sunset. I don't want to be sitting down here telling you about the sunset. I want to show it to you. And then my story will be, yeah, you can use these people to help you get up the mountain, or you'll feel this kind of way. First-hand knowledge. And then the next guy could come up and we could build on that. Build. You know, speculations, I don't see the point so much. Especially when we could figure it out, you know? And there's TV shows in the States, and I've seen some YouTube videos where they like kind of set up something like that. I saw this one guy. I don't know if you've seen it. It was on Yahoo like a couple months ago. He wanted to know how people would react if he walked up to them and held their hand. So kind of do, and he holds their hand. He wanted to see how they would respond. So he I'm sorry. This is a serious video, but people. So he wanted to see what would happen. So he set it up. He had his friend sitting and it was real basic. He had his friend sitting in the corner with the camera pointed at him, and then he would just be walking and he would grab someone's hand. And it was weird because some people would hold his hand and just kind of smile at him like, why are you holding my hand? Some guys would kind of put, hey, I don't know you. Some people would give him a crazy look. And then he posted on YouTube. It got like 1 million views. And it got on It got on Yahoo News, or Yahoo News, whatever, and now I'm talking about it. It's real simple. It wasn't the best camera angles and da-da-da-da. We could do that in Japan for anything. So if I say I can get all the girls, man, I can get all the girls in Japan, then we set it up. I'm walking down the street. I walk up to the girl. I have the little microphone on me. And I say, hey, girl, why don't you and me be friends? And then she'll probably say, yada! And then we have a translation, get away from me. And then we could even put a sound effects. And then we go to the next one. Hey, girl, why don't we be friends? And she's like, yada! And then if I keep doing this and I keep getting the same response, we will learn a few things. One, maybe saying, hey girl, can we be friends? It's not the best line to use. And maybe the way I was dressed or the way I'm talking or, you know, all these things we can get. And then someone can say, okay, if I walk into Japan and I say, hey girl, let's be friends, it probably is not going to work. And then we try another one. Hey, I'm Fonz. It worked for Fonz, man, so I tried. And if the girl goes, hi, then we can, you know, and it should work like this. Hey you, hey girl, let's be friends. You see? And there you go. It's not the end of the world. It's fun. It's not school, it's not science, but we do enough of these videos with all different types of people, you know. Come on, man. You see I'm all like trying to have a presentation here and you just flitting around and stuff. You know, that's what I'm proposing. We could do it for anything, man. Anything. And it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. It'll be a new type of video. The social experiments. But it's actually anthropology. It's the study of humans. But in a way that's, you know, we're not going to be have on white lab coats and be all like, okay. Hey, I got 50 yen, man. This experiment will cost less than 50 yen. Actually, it'll probably cost more. Gotta feed the experimentees. But actually, come to think of this is like Punk'd, right? You have some celebrity, he's all cool, and then his friends, they know his weaknesses, and you know, if I'm drinking apple tea and I'm like drinking it, and then Mrs. RG's like, "It's pee, baby," and I'm all like, "Ugh, ugh." And then she's like, I'm kidding. Then you see a real response, you see a real reaction, because you know I'm trying to be all cool. I'm rhyming gaijin, man. You know, like I don't like spiders, and if
Here's a spider.
you know, something like that, and then you would laugh, and then it's like, oh yeah, he thinks he's so. But we do it with other type of things, you know. Then I think, actually, I'm pretty sure. I think this would be more entertaining, more educational, more informational than just random people saying I did this and I did that and I think this and I think that and da 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 da, and you don't, you know. Now, that's all I gotta say about that. So that's where I'm trying to go with this. What I need from you, you know, you can comment on, you know, I don't like that. You can comment on the birds and the cavemen. Those are just examples. The point is, I want to test out the theories, the premises, the ideas. I want to, you know, I want to keep going, you know. But you remember the show? I don't know what it's called, but they would investigate haunted houses. You know, it'd be like, oh, this is a haunted house, and they would go there with their little gadgets to see if it's really true. Or Ripley's Believe It or Not, they would like go places and try to find out if it's true. Or the freaking Guinness Book records. You know, someone says, I got the longest toenails. You're not looking at my feet. And Guinness doesn't care. But if I take a picture and I measure it out and they see the evidence, they're going to say, yes, Ryman has the longest toenails. And now it'll be officially official. No one really questions. No, I don't, because it's built in. Guinness records has a history of this, and this guy is in it, so it must be the truth. And it's simple. Nobody argues with that, you know? I mean, it just boggles my mind. So we understand, most of us understand the concept of finding the answer and then moving on. I don't hear too many people like arguing against. I don't believe that Michael Jordan has, I don't know how many championship rings he has. We kind of, yeah, he got it. All the people who make it in Hall of Fame. Now some of them, they get brought up on charges of steroids or enhancing drugs, and then we strip them from the medals. But, you know, for the most part, we're like, they're in there because they work hard to get it, and we don't question it. We don't, oh, I don't. Alright, so I said it many different ways. I'm just really repeating myself. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. And I hope I have your support. And like the video and send it off to your people. And if you are an anthropologist, give me some advice on how to proceed with making these observations. Because I took a class, anthropology, and it was a long time ago. It wasn't so exciting. But you know, I'm in Japan, and we all kind of have interest in Japan. Either we've been here, or we're going there, or we enjoy thinking about it. So, that's it. That's all she wrote. And I'm going to finish this video before Mrs. RG gets back. Alright, peace. Ryman. Oh. And this is like neither here or there, but I know she's not going to watch this video. Because it's pretty long. It has nothing to do with anything. But her birthday is next Monday. Next Monday. So can you send some happy birthday love? Not too much, but send some to her channel, and I would appreciate it. But yeah, Ryman. Actually, you know what would be cool? I don't think it's possible, but if Actually, we'll talk about this later because it's already a long video and you didn't come here to hear this, but I'm just putting it at the end because, as I said, it's a long video. She's not going to watch all of it and we could hide this stuff in there. Anyway, all right, rhyming. It's time to go. I keep doing that, man. I got a button. I push the button, it doesn't go, you know? Well, here, we're pushing the button.